One of the most difficult things a lot of autistic adults will have to go through is anything related to jobs and careers because one, it's a necessity to have. If you don't have a way to make income or money, you're not able to sustain yourself or sustain a family. And a lot of issues come from that, right? And I'm not going to go into all the issues. I feel like it's pretty obvious. There's just not enough resources out there for autistic folks to find sustainable jobs for them. So they end up working jobs that is the complete opposite of sustainable. They burn out cyclically from jobs again and again. They move from one job to another. They're trying all of these different career choices out, and they ultimately come up empty-handed. They don't know what to do because nothing has worked for them so far. And it's not out of laziness. It's not out of anything other than systems are simply not made to suit autistic neurology. So I want to take some time this week to talk about how us as autistic folks can be more mindful when we're looking for jobs, because this is the one thing that a lot of my clients and a lot of you guys are looking for help on is I've been burning out my whole life from one job after another. I've hit a breaking point. I need guidance on what to do next, because once I've recovered from my current burnout, I need to find my next job, and I want to figure out how to burn out less frequently or less intense. I just need to start figuring this out because I can't afford not to at this point. As autistic people, when you're thinking about what job you want to work next, I want you guys to think about these 3 categories. Are you ready? Are you guys sitting up straight? You guys got your notebooks out? You guys ready to hear this? Ready to soak it in? For those of you who have zoned out so far, snap out of it. Pay attention. Pay attention to this part and then you can zone out again, okay? Ready? Process, people, environment. These are the 3 categories to think about when it comes to looking for jobs as an autistic person. And you will have to prioritize at least one of these 3 categories. And let me explain to you how to do that. Process, when it comes to jobs, is basically the actual process of what you would be doing in that job. So for example, if you're working at a bakery, you would be making baked goods. That is the process you're signing up for. If you are a jeweler, you will be working with jewelry. If you are a seamstress, you will be working with clothes, fabrics, sewing. If you are a shoemaker, you will be working with making shoes. If you are a mechanic, you will be working with actually fixing mechanical things. If you are working in a car shop, you will be working with cars. These are examples of process-based jobs. People, these are jobs where it's less about what you're doing, it's less about where you're at, but it's more so about who you're working with and the people you're surrounded by. And this one is actually a really important one to think about when you're autistic, because for a lot of autistic folks, we already struggle with social differences. And because of that, we may also struggle with being extremely lonely because we don't have fulfilling or supportive relationships in our personal lives. And so having a job where you are actually working with people that you enjoy being around and you can talk to, you can resonate with, you look forward to seeing people who just understand you or at least give you space to be you, that is really, really important. That can make or break someone's livelihood, mental health, all that kind of stuff, right? And the third one is environment. So environment-focused job is basically you're in an environment, whether it's the actual environment or it's the system that you're working in, that allows you to synthesize with it and get into a flow state rather than constantly hitting these barriers of, I just started a flow and then I have to stop because of this, or I want to get lost in this, but the environment is too overstimulating or not stimulating enough, and then it's causing a lot of overstimulation or understimulation. Environment is just, you are able to be regulated because the environment itself helps keep you regulated. So when you think about these three categories, right? Process, people, environment, you have to think about yourself and your life outside of work first and what that life is missing. If you are the type of autistic who has a very fulfilling social life with really fulfilling relationships, you have loved ones, you have community, maybe you don't need to prioritize people at your career because you're not going to be without when you go to work and you don't really care for the people. Because when you go home or outside of work, you're completely happy and satisfied and supported, right? Then maybe you should prioritize either environment or process. And so it's up to you to think about, okay, what am I missing more of? Or what would help me thrive more at a job? The process of what I'm doing or the environment that could help me be regulated and be in flow? And pick whichever one you feel like is just a more positive, sustainable experience for you. Let's say you're the type of autistic who tends to be very lonely because it's harder for you to socialize. You might be more introverted. You might be a homebody. It might be difficult for you to find like-minded people, but you crave to connect with other people. Finding a job that's people-based, so you look forward to going to work because you actually enjoy talking to and being around your coworkers, or you enjoy interacting with the customers or whatever it is. It's more so about the people than anything else for you, and you could get your social needs met through your job. So therefore, when you come home, you might have an environment at home that you're happy with. You might already have hobbies that you love to do on your own time and make you feel extremely fulfilled. It's just the people component you're missing. So for autistics like this, maybe going into a job where it's more so about the people you're interacting with and surrounded by would bring a lot more balance and sustainability for you. So take some time to think about that. If you are in the position of moving from one job to the next and you might struggle with burning out or feeling unfulfilled, don't just look at a job that you're good at or an easy job to do. Think about it in a more sustainable way, because we don't really get to just work whatever job is available. I mean, we can, but it's not sustainable for us is the thing. Because we will end up dealing with cyclical burnouts and intense burnouts if you are careless like that. We live in a world where we have to be very intentional about every single thing that we're doing and every single person we're interacting with. And it's not because it's fair, it's because we just have to. It's logistical. It's a logistical thing. I don't want you guys to burn out. I don't want you guys to deal with meltdowns, shutdowns, all these kind of things. And what I try to do is offer up these more logistical advice for you, not to tell you it's the right thing to do or tell you it's the only thing to do, but to just give you something to work off of, because practically speaking, it could help you if you so choose to take that advice seriously and learn how to integrate it into your life in a way that makes sense for you, right? And that's the other part that I really want any of you listening to understand. My advice is not black and white. It's never meant to be that way. My advice is always meant for you guys to take and organically figure out and intuitively figure out how to fit that into yourself. So what that means is you're going to have to mold it into a shape that works for you, or pick and choose what works for you and leave what doesn't. You're free to do that. I don't care. I'm just giving you guys a baseline of a framework to work off of, okay? In my first video that I made about this topic, a lot of people are upset that I didn't actually offer up job recommendations, because that's what they thought they were going to get, is just a list of jobs to do. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you what's going to work for you, because if it doesn't work for you, you're going to be upset that I gave you advice that doesn't work for you. Like if I tell one autistic person that being an engineer would work for them, and then all these other autistic folks think, oh, I'm autistic too, so being an engineer will work for me, but this autistic person doesn't do well with math. And then because of that, they go to my comments and be like, how dare you recommend engineering for me? I'm so bad at math. How could you say that? I can never win. All I could do is deconstruct what makes jobs difficult for autistic neurology. And then you guys take that information and figure out for yourself, because no one's going to know you better than yourself, with the information Irene's giving, how do I make that work for me? So I'm going to give you guys information. I'm also going to offer up actual jobs as examples. I'm not giving it as definitive advice saying that this will work for autistic people, but it's just a basic foundation for you guys to work off of so that you could take that and think about other things that may work better for you. Does that make sense? So with that being said, if you guys find this advice helpful or this information helpful, please stay tuned for the rest of the videos this week, where I will go into more detail about the 3 different categories that I introduced today: process, people, environment. And I will talk more about it. I will also give actual examples of jobs within these categories. Almost 50% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. So if you find this information helpful, or you find yourself watching more than one of my videos, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for any future upcoming videos. Make sure you guys take some time to regulate yourselves today, because you deserve it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.